The silence in our kitchen that evening was heavier than any fight we'd ever had. I could hear the ticking of the wall clock louder than her voice when she finally spoke, her eyes fixed on the floor. "It wasn't planned," she said softly. "It just happened." That's how Karen explained the affair. Like it was some accident, a sudden storm that swept through without warning. But the damage it left behind felt anything but accidental. It felt deliberate, like a carefully aimed blow. Karen and I had been married for 17 years. We built a life together, 2 kids, a paid-off mortgage, and every Sunday we made chili together, a small tradition that somehow held us steady. She was my best friend, my confidant, my partner in every sense. And now she was my cheating wife. It was hard to reconcile the woman folding laundry in the next room with the one I discovered sneaking hotel receipts into the trash. The night I caught her, there was no dramatic confrontation, no lipstick on a collar, no incriminating texts lighting up her phone, just a cold distance between us. Her body was home, but her heart was gone. I asked quietly, "Are you seeing someone?" She didn't deny it. That silence confirmed everything I feared. But this was only the beginning. What followed wasn't anger or screams. It was a cold, heavy clarity settling over me. I wasn't just betrayed. I was shattered by the slow, creeping truth that the woman beside me had become a stranger. Karen said it was a co-worker, a regional sales director named Vince. I didn't care who he was. What hurt was that she had chosen him again and again. She insisted it wasn't serious. But to me, any form of betrayal is a wound deep enough to cut through everything. Infidelity isn't just about the physical act. It's about trust. And once trust shatters, it haunts every room, every silence. What hurt most wasn't just that she cheated. It was that she kept coming home, smiling as if nothing had changed, as if the world hadn't cracked beneath our feet. But the worst was still to come, and it would unravel everything I thought I knew about her. The next night, she told me she was going to a team dinner. Something told me not to let it go. I followed her, not out of jealousy, but instinct. I watched as she walked into the Lakeside Inn, not with co-workers, but alone. Moments later, Vince arrived. They didn't act like colleagues. His hand rested comfortably on her lower back. The world shifted beneath me as I saw it with my own eyes. My wife cheating, blatant and unashamed. She didn't see me. I stayed hidden in my car, hands clenched on the steering wheel, unable to move or cry. The betrayal pinned me there, rooted to the leather seat like a heavy stone. When I finally drove home, my heart pounded like I'd committed a crime. I stared at our wedding photo taped to the fridge. The smiles frozen in time, and let numbness give way to grief. The next day, something inside me snapped. I refused to be the broken man begging for answers. I began digging into our finances, and what I found made the affair seem almost trivial. Karen wasn't just unfaithful in love. She was stealing from us, from our future. Thousands of dollars had disappeared from our joint account, labeled as consulting expenses. But I knew better. The cheating spouse was also a schemer, carefully hiding her trail. I printed out bank statements, highlighting every suspicious transfer. Some led to unknown accounts, others to gifts that weren't for me or our children. I wasn't just dealing with a cheating wife. I was confronting a woman actively sabotaging everything we built. When I confronted her, her face drained of color. "It was temporary," she muttered, eyes downcast. "I was going to pay it back." "Betrayal isn't something you fix with a deposit," I said quietly. "It's a crack in the foundation of everything we built. You didn't just cheat on me with your body. You cheated on our plans, our security, our children's future." She cried, but I didn't feel sorry. I was tired, empty. Infidelity steals something you can't name, something between dignity and innocence. That night, I moved into my brother's guest room. Karen called, texted, sent endless apologies. "It was a mistake," she wrote. "I still love you." But I couldn't believe her anymore. The woman I married was gone, replaced by someone I barely recognized. Even then, the full truth was still hidden beneath the surface. Because once you start unraveling one lie, you pull the thread on many others. 2 weeks after I left, I got a call from HR at Karen's company. "Is this Mr. Anderson?" A voice asked, "We have an urgent legal matter involving your wife." I corrected her. "Ex-wife, almost." She paused and said, "We believe Karen was involved in submitting fraudulent expense reports. Federal investigators may contact you." The cheating spouse was now under criminal investigation. I stared at the phone long after the call ended. This wasn't just infidelity. It was a complete absence of integrity. Those team dinners weren't just affairs. They were part of something bigger, darker. When the FBI showed up at my door 3 days later, I wasn't surprised. They asked if I had any knowledge of Karen's work on specific accounts. I told them everything. Because betrayal isn't just a private wound. It can become a public stain. Somewhere in that chaos, I realized something terrifying. Karen had lied not just to me, but to everyone. Every conversation, every promise felt like fiction. The final twist was yet to come. Karen asked for one last meeting, to talk like adults. I agreed out of curiosity, not hope. We met in the park near our old house. She looked thinner, nervous. "I'm cooperating with the investigation," she said. "I might avoid jail time." I nodded but said nothing. She reached for my hand. I didn't give it. "I want to say I'm sorry," she whispered. I finally looked her in the eye. "You didn't lose yourself," I said slowly. "You just stopped choosing me." Tears came, silent and steady. "Do you think we'll ever talk again?" she asked. I stood, calm and certain. "No, I loved you once, deeply. But now, I love the peace that came after you more." Walking away that day didn't feel like escape. It felt like rebirth. For anyone who's caught a cheating spouse, who's lived through betrayal and heartbreak, know this. It does get better. But only if you stop chasing the pain and start building something unbreakable. 6 months later, I moved to a new city, a smaller place with a slower pace. I began volunteering at the local high school, teaching history part-time. It healed me in ways therapy never could. One afternoon in the library, I met Dana, a widow with 2 grown sons and a laugh that pulled you in. We bonded over books, sarcasm, and the kind of wounds you don't hide. I told her everything, the affair, the betrayal, the ruin. She listened without pity, only understanding. "You didn't deserve that," she said quietly. "But maybe you deserved what came after." And that was everything. Because sometimes healing doesn't start with forgetting. It starts with being truly seen. So, if you've caught your wife cheating, if you're drowning in betrayal and heartbreak, remember this. Freedom is waiting. But only if you're brave enough to claim it. Would you forgive her? Or would you walk away like I did? Tell me your story. I'm listening.